When you see the operation at Barrett, you will not see solely automated processes with people that are just punching a time card. There are people that are artists with a welder. There are machinists that are lifelong master machinists. That is a huge collection of some of the most talented people in Tennessee, or in the world, actually.
There's only been 4 people that's designed a gun that got adopted by the U.S. government in the last 100 years. John Browning, Gene Stoner, John Garand, and Ronnie Barrett. Working here is making history.
Part of the Barrett DNA is our designs. We are really a design and engineering company. We happen to get to make some money some days on delivering these things, but we are passionate about design and passionate about who we design for. The day that we take a design that's been in our heads and then on a computer screen and now as parts that we can actually feel move and see function, that's the best feeling. That is the best feeling. This is a real breakaway thing for us. This is a belt-fed machine gun. So it's a general purpose belt-fed machine gun, but we put the Barrett twist on it. The current U.S. military machine gun is very similar to this Barrett product, but it's about 5 pounds heavier. We saw a great opportunity there to put some ingenuity into the design and bring it up to date.
We're not making wash machines here. Everything that we make on any of the rifles that have government use, everything must be perfect. There can be no missing the heat treat or leaving off this torque spec or something like that. It all has to be right because some son or daughter will lay in the mud and fight with it to the bitter end. So it is a big responsibility.
A lot of our products are not just consumer products. They are used at some terrible moments for people, at some absolutely trying moments in war and in combat. To be accepted by folks that know that something's going to be used that way, to have your product that you've been passionate about accepted by them, to have them say it's good enough, those are the best moments.
It doesn't matter how great the weapon is, he is continually improving on the weapon. And I think that really speaks to his craft. You know, he is a craftsman. For me as a songwriter and as a country music artist, you're never satisfied, ever, with what you wrote. The next one you write, you're trying to write it even better, and the next, and the next, and the next. And I think Ronnie really applies that same integrity, and Chris, to the weapons that they create.
Tennessee has turned out to be a wonderful place to build a business. With the creative epicenter that Nashville is, and not just for music anymore, it's become a big magnet for talented and great people. Yeah, I can hear a creek rolling, I can hear animals moving around, I can hear the breeze. It's a nice place to be. So it is absolutely relaxing, and sometimes it's nice just to do it by yourself. I come out here all the time. I'll bring boxes of ammo and go through different loads that have come out. So yeah, you can lose a lot of time out here.
From the 50s up until today, I've always been around guns. When we were real small, we'd have our BB guns. That was the first thing. And my older brother, Danny, and I would get on our bicycles and ride down the little country lane and just taking targets of opportunity. Later on, that turned into .22 rifles and then into shotgun and hunting rabbits and squirrels and all that kind of stuff. So it's just always been a place in our life.
It's probably the one passion I've stuck with my whole life. At any fitness level, age, there is some shooting sport or outdoor activity that you can participate in.
When I was a senior in high school, there was a photographer here in town, called the high school art department and find out who the best artists they had. They wanted to hire them seasonally to be able to retouch photographs. And so I went over there and worked after school. So as soon as the school year was over, I opened my own, photography business. I did the pistol competitions, then we had machine gun competitions, and I owned a couple of little machine guns. What comes after machine guns, after you've got that, it would be the big 50 caliber. 50 caliber machine gun is kind of heavy. Well, it's 84 pounds and it sits on a 40-pound tripod and it eats up that very expensive ammunition at 500 shots per minute. It would have been nice to have a 50, but not a 50 Browning machine gun. It was January 1, 1982. I was photographing a riverine patrol craft one day for the Ramo company that's in Nashville. We were talking about what I just told you, that I'd love to have a 50. The owner of the Ramo company, Pony Maples, was there. I said, I'm thinking about, just making one, a little bolt action or something. And Pony said, well, if there was ever a semi-automatic, that would be something. Well, heck, I can do that. So I said, if I go out and make one, would you guys be interested in building it? Maybe we can make some money out of it. Sure, kid. Well, I took that seriously. So I went back and started sketching things out. I carried it to a machine shop or two, and they'd kind of laugh at you and go, these are not prints. You have to have a machinist print. I finally found a guy in Smyrna, Tennessee, go to his house. We'd go out there, and I would show him what I want done, bring him the steel, and drill me a hole here, do that. I could understand my drawings, and I could explain it to him.
It was just the intense hustle, the tenacity, and just the desire to never quit.
And in 4 months, we had the first gun built. And it kind of shot. It would at least go boom, and it wouldn't cycle, but it got me to the next level of what do I want to do differently. Ended up doing it all in a little one-bay garage with a little bitty small mill. I took the gun to the Houston Gun Show and put it up on the table and showed this new gun with the video of it running a little bit. I ended up pre-selling about 30 of the guns, and which I sold at $2,300 because I thought I ought to be able to make that gun for $1,000. Well, making 30 guns was a heck of a lot harder than making just one. It took me about 9 months to get those out, but finally got them out the door. They cost me $8,000 a piece. That didn't work out too good.
So this is 4 machines in a block that do similar processes or do individual processes that all produce one part. We found that breaking down some of the processes into smaller individual machines helps us get more throughput. As we move into higher volume products, that's pretty important for us. What we've done here is we've given the guys who are actually creating the part the responsibility and the authority to inspect what they're doing. So it's not like we make a part and then cart it off to a quality lab where it gets checked. The people who are actually responsible for the outcome of the whole product can check their own work right here.
Shoestring type thing is the way we had to run the business for a long time. The Army show in Washington, the Association of the United States Army, the displays up there were very expensive. I didn't even have any money. We'd drive to D.C. and rented a room at the Holiday Inn at Telegraph Road. And I'd put each employee in the double bed, and I'd sleep on the floor. And that's how we'd get to a show. I'd come up an exhibitor the first day of the show that had these big night vision back then. And I'd come up to the guy and said, nobody's looking at your booth. It's not very exciting or anything. I mean, it's just that. He said, yeah, it's been a little slow. I said, well, I got this gun. I got this gun, and it's a big gun. If you let me put the gun on your table, then you put the night vision on that, the size of the gun would probably make your night vision look a little smaller. And he said, yeah, bring it on up. I walked through the lobby of hotels and things with this gun slung over my shoulder, and then put the gun up like that. So now I've got a display for free. And I know one time I had 4 guns on the floor, and I didn't even have a booth. Those were fun days. just showing up year after year after year eventually causes success.
When a lot of my friends went to college, I went straight to work. When I was 18, was designing guns, and I designed a gun at that age that we still make to this day. I can easily see how your entire world and your identity is wrapped up in what you built. And for a lot of folks, that's what it is. That is your legacy. It's what I left here.
There's rarely a contradiction between Chris Barrett and Ronnie Barrett. We're all moving in the same direction. Gosh, when you first came in here full time, it was back in the sandblaster, running the sandblasters, running the spot welders and everything, and it wasn't no time before he comes up and he says, "We're doing this wrong, or we can do this more efficiently."
You're doing this wrong.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Things had progressed.
Yeah.
Things had progressed, and we were doing it the way that I had learned it, which gosh, the way I learned it is by buying one and starting up.
Yeah.
Well, a set of fresh eyes comes in and takes a look in and says, if we bought this machine and that machine, we could get twice as many of them done in the same amount of time. And so that's the kind of stuff that Chris brought in. So you modernize the plant.
We own sniper rifles. And we have provided for the U.S. military the M107 for many years now. This is the rifle that my father designed. We have a next generation rifle that is a smaller caliber that is called the MRAD, multi-role adaptive design. So the gun is configurable. And that was a real mold breaker for rifles in this long-range precision class. This is a great honor, and a lot of folks may not understand what that means to get an M designation from the United States Army, or in the case of the Marine Corps or the Navy, a MARC designation, an MK number. Those are great badges of honor that mean your rifle or your weapon was selected in intense competition by the most discerning users in the world.
We're just getting started. This really should have happened 12, 15 so years ago. This is coming about because of Chris Barrett. He's just not gonna let us sit here on our laurels. We gotta have more products, a bigger line, more diverse line, so we're not just the big 50 caliber thing anymore.
The culture at Barrett is changing, but it has some core principles that have always been the same, and that's that this is a family. There are folks here sitting in this building that have been with Dad since the beginning, that first put pencil to paper on some of the designs, that first welded some of the metal parts together on the very first prototypes. It doesn't matter where this company goes, how big we get. If we start other companies, we're not going to let that go. This is the way.